right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. That music means Joe Reichel is somewhere in the neighborhood. Right there. And Joe is here to answer your questions about your do-it-yourself home repair projects or home remodeling projects, and of course the bigger ones that really require somebody a little bit more skilled than you might be, and Joe can guide you in that direction as well. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing really good.
You were busy before we went on the air looking up something, huh? You got something?
Always busy.
Something. This is about mildew, mold?
Yeah, today, well, recently we've had a lot of homeowners talking about or asking questions about shower maintenance, for example. So I thought today would be a great opportunity to look into bathroom maintenance and some things that homeowners can do to avoid having to eventually call damage control or have to take care of a situation that themselves possibly that would come up because of this.
Okay, so. Okay. And what would happen if you didn't treat it? Would it eventually ruin the wall or ruin the
Well,
tile?
I mean, for example, one of the jobs that we're on right now, a homeowner called and he went in to replace some grout in a shower. And he was working on taking out the loose grout.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, tile started falling off the wall.
And he found mold underneath.
And the drywall behind it's wet. And
no good.
You know, some mold has grown because of that. And basically, what's happened in this situation, what typically happens, let me say it that way, what typically happens is in your shower, if you have any types, any cracks in the grout, if you have a tile shower or around the edges where the silicone is and it's come loose and water gets behind there and will eventually cause that tile to separate from the wall.
Makes sense, yeah.
So if you have cracks or where grout is missing, water is getting behind there every time you use the shower and causing problems and eventually causing a really large problem. Sometimes even smaller situations like it'll eventually start turning black, and that's the mildew getting in the grout. There's some things that can be done to remove that mildew, but what's happening is water is getting through the grout and eventually causing a situation where it'll need to be replaced.
The wall will deteriorate, won't it?
The drywall's getting wet behind drywall, or the tile if it's on Durarock. Sometimes the newer ones are Durarock, and that Durarock's the bond between the Durarock and the tile. The glue is getting compromised because of the moisture, and eventually tile's going to start falling off.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. Okay. So that's one thing that homeowners can do is making sure that any cracks in the grout or in the silicone, if it's separating, that these are getting replaced or getting addressed and recalking or sealing it, sealing it, and also regrout or recaulking. Not the grout, caulking the edges. A lot of times the corners, even if you have a tile shower and it's grouted in, a lot of times the corners, they'll put a silicone because a lot of times there's movement in these corners, and it'll keep that. Okay. Keep it from getting wet in there.
From what, the weight of the bathtub being used? And all that?
Sometimes the weight, just movement. I mean, our houses are constantly moving. Cold weather like this, they're contracting. Once it warms up, it expands. So you've got this all the time. You've got movement all the time, and it will cause cracks in certain. That's why you have cracks in your concrete. The movement.
Sure. Yeah.
So. Yeah. It's just a known thing that you're going to have movement in a house.
So it makes sense. Yeah.
And so you'll have to touch up these spots. So another thing that a lot of homeowners don't really address very often or don't see it as being necessary, but it'll really help keeping mold and mildew out of your bathroom is proper ventilation. If you have a ceiling vent, fan, exhaust fan, run that thing. if you're in there taking a hot shower, all that hot air, the moisture is getting in the bathroom and creating a habitat for mold and mildew. So running that exhaust fan will help to eliminate that. So proper ventilation is very important. If you have a bathroom that you don't have an exhaust fan in, you might want to check with an electrician about getting one installed, or a do-it-yourself project. But that's something that you want to always use an exhaust fan if you can.
Makes sense. And the colder it is, the easier it is to see that steam in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
it's like a cloud. It's like,
anytime,
like a fog.
And even if you don't have steam, buildup, you still have moisture in there, and it's
sure.
A lot of times, there's windows in bathrooms, and people will open the window to help get rid of it, and that's a great way to do it too. But when we're having a lot of outside air, the outside air is very moist. Like when we're having a lot of rain or the rainy season, it's just as humid outside. The air is
sometimes,
just is just as moist as the inside air after taking a shower. So you're not really helping yourself there.
Are there filters in the dehumidifiers? Do they have to be changed? Are they
filters in dehumidifiers?
Yeah, like if you're using a dehumidifier, not necessarily in a steamy bathroom, but just in the house in general. Home? Yeah.
Typically, they don't have filters, but there are things that can be done to clean them out and just a general maintenance. Ours that we use for our company, they're a little more of a commercial use, but they do have a filter for them.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, but most of your home,
because sometimes the mold is a health issue, and just a little bit of mold that gets spread around the house. You can't see it, but those spores get into your lungs and.
Well, if you have mold in your house and it's growing, it's active, it's going to be spread everywhere, and that can be spread just as simply as opening the door. And the air from the outside comes in and just will push it through the rest of the house. We walk through a room, and even though we might be walking slow, we're creating movement in the room, and that's moving air throughout the house. So once you turn on your central air conditioning and it's circulating throughout the house, it's going everywhere.
Sure is, yeah.
So, that's why whenever we go into a situation, if it's mold remediation, we've got to, let's just say we're demoing a wall because there's mold behind it. We have to encapsulate that area. We'll do barriers, plastic barriers, to keep the air movement confined to that area.
Okay.
So,
and a
lot of times with bathroom demolitions like that, we'll have to do that.
How's it out right now? It's not too cold, right? It's kind of nice.
It's a beautiful day right now. Nice, right, a little windy.
But we have a freeze warning coming in tonight.
Yes.
From 3 a.m. to 9 tomorrow morning, actually.
So, and that's something, too, with homeowners. You really want to make sure that you have, your outside, as far as if you have a well outside, that you cover it, have it protected. Just throw a blanket over it. A lot of times some, people will put lights on them and whatnot, but that's not really necessary here as much. Just a blanket over it will help to keep that direct weather off of it. But in talking about that, make sure you know where your water shutoff is.
Absolutely.
In case of a situation where you do have frozen pipes and it creates a leak.
Yeah, make sure you know that. All right, we are up against the first break. If you would like to call in, you may do so, and feel free to interrupt us. If we're talking about a subject and you've got something else you want to talk about, we want to hear you. Joe's here to help you with your situations. The number is 622-9622. The show is called Damage Control. Your host is Joe Reichel. We'll be right back with Joe.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday. Windy and cool with a high of 57 to 61. Partly cloudy and chilly Tuesday night. Lows ranging from 35 in the coldest inland spots to 41 along the coast. Wednesday will be mostly sunny, breezy, and quite cool, high 55 to 59. Thursday, sunny and cool, high 59 to 63. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
For some, Valentine's Day means flowers and candy. Not for us.
Join us for the Valentine's Day Massacre, February 13th at the Southeastern Lifestyle Pavilion.
For 7 scheduled bouts of live professional boxing entertainment. Each bout is highlighted with local boxers.
So come out and support the future boxing in Ocala. First bout starts at 7 and doors open at 6.
Proceeds to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. Tickets start at only $15.
Get your tickets at Central Florida Boxing, 1032 Southwest 1st Avenue, or call 352-292-2103.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is here from Damage Control Services. Remember, Damage Control Services is your disaster restoration one-stop solution for damage control services, damage recovery services, I should say. And if you have a question, you want to be part of the show, you are welcome and invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. Joe?
Yeah, one of the things that we were talking about, as far as in the shower or in the bathroom, the maintenance, make sure, check your shutoffs. You've got shutoffs on all your water in there, like your commode. Behind the commode, underneath the tank, there's a shutoff valve. Make sure that works. If you can't turn that off for some reason, if it's stuck in place, you want to get that replaced, because if something happens and water starts pouring out somewhere and you can't shut that off, you're going to have a serious mess. Same with under your sink. Your hot water line and your cold water line, as they come in under the sink, you'll have a shutoff on each of those. You want to check those and make sure that you can freely turn them in order to shut them off, because if you can't and something happens to that plumbing and you can't turn that water off, it's going to be going everywhere. And
damage is following.
And a lot of damage. And the only other way to shut that off is to shut it off at where the water comes into the house, either at your pump or at the street if you have a well, or if you have city water. So if that happens, water is off to the entire house, not just that area.
I have a question for you. What is the solution to sand getting into the faucets and into the washing machine and all that? Like, you have your own well.
Probably a well. And there's different things that can cause that. Something might be wrong with the well. But the other option, there's almost a disaster here. Things falling off.
Oh, it almost fell over?
They hit the It looked like it was falling anyway.
What is that, a soda machine?
It is an icy machine.
Oh, okay.
Going through by the window here from the mall.
Right.
They were taking an icy machine out. But anyway, back to this show. I forget what we were talking about now.
Sand.
There's several different things that a homeowner can do if that's a situation. There's a filter that can be put on to filter all the water coming from the well before it comes into the house. If that's something that's happening continuously and getting in there, because you don't want sand in your water.
No.
And it's surprising how much that will take the impurities that will get out of the water as it's coming into the house. So,
But then obviously that needs to be changed a lot. Otherwise, you're done.
Every so often,
you don't have any water.
Regularly, you need to change that filter so that it's continuing, just like any filter.
Yeah.
There's filters that you can get to install at your shower head before the water comes into the shower. That's another option, another thing that homeowners can do to filter out the water.
And I know it's beyond what you do, but the people in Flint, Michigan, there's probably no filter that would help them out right now. They've got that lead in their water, so wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure about.
You can't filter out lead, can you?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it would be heavy, so it would.
So that means the entire town is depending on bottled water for what, a year or something? It's been a long time.
Yeah. See, that's one thing, our water, if we've used a well or whatever, we always, think that it's good, but sometimes it's good to get that water tested anyway to make sure that it's good, because if for some reason, I know we've talked to different homeowners that have, what's the yellow stuff or the orange stuff?
Phosphorus? Sulfur
in your water. Anytime you have different contaminants in your water, that's working against your, even like chlorine. If you're on city water, and there's a lot of chlorine, that's working against your appliances in your home.
Yeah,
let alone your health.
Can you imagine sand in your ice cubes? Or that would be good.
I'd rather have sand, I think, than chlorine, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink chlorine.
No.
So, I mean, there's water softener systems that you can get to take care of that, and different professionals for that. So
so tonight the big freeze could be tomorrow morning. Be prepared for that. And this wind today. Any advice to protect us from the wind? Gusts up to 40 miles an hour this afternoon, they say.
And that's like we always talk about our trees around the house. We always talk about that. If you have any trees that are questionable around your home, you're going to want to get those inspected, get them looked over by an arborist, because you want to make sure that they're safe and they're able to withstand these wind gusts that we do have, especially going into the spring as we get a lot of rain that loosens the soil.
Sure.
And we get these wind gusts like we're having today, and it'll easily push them over. Highly possible to come down on your house. But we also talk about keeping your gutters clean. That's another thing.
Right.
With this wind, a lot of leaves are coming down, and it's causing debris to fall on your roof. So you get these sticks and leaves up there, and then that gets in your gutter and clogs it up. If that's happening, the next thing that's going to be happening once your gutters are clogged up is that water backs up when it does rain, and it comes into the house, causing rotten wood and sometimes other problems. So,
do you ever have people asking you to, like after a windy day, like today's going to be a very windy day, do they ever call you and say, look, I have shingles on my roof, there's no way I can observe them?
Well,
can you make sure some didn't blow off?
We've had people ask us to check stuff like that, but even just yesterday, we got a phone call from a realtor, and she's working on a sale of a house, and the people that are buying the house noticed that with all this rain, there was a lot of water come in. Fairly new roof, but they do have a roof leak up there. So not anything major, but like we've talked about before. Even a minor leak, if you've got just all of a sudden you have a water spot on your ceiling, if the sooner you address that, the better off you're going to be, because if you don't take care of it now, it's going to continue to cause a problem, and then you'll end up with a mold situation or whatever, ceiling falling down, and then you end up with a hole.
Not good, yeah.
Not good.
No, a hole is never good in a roof.
A hole in your ceiling is never a good thing.
Yeah, the trees, I think, is probably the biggest issue. Even if it's just a limb, sometimes the limb can be heavier than you think.
Well, limbs, we end up with situations where limbs are causing puncture holes all the time in roofs, yeah. It doesn't take much, and one thing we didn't talk about is if you have limbs that are on the roof, if your tree limbs are touching your roof, especially with all this wind, they're constantly working against those shingles, and they can easily cause holes up there where they are rubbing, and then you end up with a leak for sure. But we look at houses all the time, check roofs out that have a limb has fallen and caused a puncture up there. So, it's something that homeowners need to address, because that hole, water's getting in there. So,
well, whether it's mold or wind damage or some perhaps plumbing problem from the cold, if you do the preventive things today, then tomorrow you won't need to call damage control.
A lot less opportunity to need or to have a situation if you continue to do maintenance.
But in the meantime, get one of those cards, and if something does go wrong, one of those magnetic cards that you can put on your refrigerator.
One of our damage control magnets.
Yeah. And so the magnets, and then they'll be able to call you, get you out there and assess the situation.
One more thing, just recently we had a situation looking up at a water heater for a homeowner. It was all rusted, and we were able to advise them to get it fixed, get it replaced before it did cause an issue. And the plumber, when they were taking it apart, as they moved it, it fell apart. The water heater fell apart. So it was just a matter of time before that water heater, since it was rusting out. So if you are a homeowner and you have rust on your water heater, especially around the base of it, you'll want to get that addressed quickly.
A good sign that the end of it is near.
The end is near. Yeah. 10 years is pretty much the life expectancy on a water heater, I found out. So 10 years and older, you'll want to make sure that you're checking it over.
That's about what mine is. So I have an unrelated question, and I noticed it on the mall.
Okay.
There's a facade wall around the mall that makes the mall look taller than it actually is.
Sure does.
Is that an aesthetic thing or a functional thing?
Just aesthets. That covers, see how from here we can see on top of Sears, we can see the air conditioners and whatever, whatnot over there. On top of the mall, there's a lot of things up there as far as plumbing and electrical and whatnot going to the different buildings. And that wall, that facade wall, covers all of that so that you can't see all of that stuff up there.
See, I didn't know if it was functional, like to keep kids off the roof or something. I don't know.
It does two things. It makes the building look bigger.
Yeah.
And it covers up all of the stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're working up there, you're not going to fall off. It does three things.
Yeah,
it's a safety situation.
That's true, too. All right, before we say goodbye, what is your phone number?
My phone number is 352-817-6574, or you can email me, joe@damageflorida.com.
All right. Always a good show, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll take a little break. Be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday. Windy and cool with a high of 57 to 61. Partly cloudy and chilly Tuesday night. Lows ranging from 35 in the coldest inland spots to 41 along the coast. Wednesday will be mostly sunny, breezy, and quite cool. High 55 to 59. Thursday, sunny and cool. High 59 to 63.